So the first critical choice I made was to pick up the phone when my sister called me almost 30 years ago. Now we know, and my community knows my story, and that first choice was very profound. Obviously, it gave me a chance at everything that I have today. But when I reflect, I've made a series of first choices since then that have really impacted my success. And so I'm just curious about any of the first choices that you have made that you then reflect on and say that really impacted your journey to enduring success.
Right. Well, first of all, thank goodness for your sister Maria. Saint Maria, I will call her for today's purposes. But all kidding aside, Trisha's story, which I didn't know until I got to know her as an adult, has been remarkable. And I'm so happy that our journeys have brought us together now. And I think it's so important to be able to show what's possible, right? What's possible for many of us who come from various sorts of challenges in our background. For me, probably again, this interview has made me think a lot and reflect a lot about things that maybe I wouldn't normally be thinking about. So, first choice for me, I would say, was at some point when I was pretty young. I don't know if it was high school or it was college. I don't really know, but I realized that I had in me the drive to have a better life than what I came from. And not that it was a bad life, but it was challenging in some ways. Being a first generation college graduate, been working and supporting myself for any extra spending money, I guess I'd say, since I was like 15. And, feeling like there was probably more out there than my parents were able to give me. And I think at some point, but I had no role models. I didn't know anybody in business. I didn't know any CEOs. It wasn't like I knew any of that. But I think a first choice I made, I guess I would say, is embracing my ambition. Now, ambition is not a word I would have used back then. In fact, ambition is a word I want to reclaim for women as a positive word, because so often it's used as a weapon against women. And it's been used against me that way early in my career once or twice. Somebody saying something about, gosh, you're so ambitious. And they said it in a really negative way, and it hurt. But now that I'm older, I realize, no, actually, when people are ambitious, that's great. And if they can embrace that about themselves and make a choice, to your point about how to drive and fuel that ambition for good, hopefully, that's important. So that was probably the first big choice, but it wasn't a conscious choice that I didn't realize I was much older that I was making that choice. And I'd say it kind of relates to the second big time in my life where I chose to embrace that, which is, as Trish knows, my husband Terry and I, also Saint Terry.
Yes, I was going to say Saint Maria,
Yeah,
Saint Terry.
Saint Maria, Saint Terry, just
Yeah.
pray to them all. No, but he, Terry and I met when we were quite young. I was 19 when I asked him out on our first date. By the way, we'll come back to that sometime. And anyways, but we both come from similar backgrounds, and he's actually more educated than I am. He's got a master's degree of biochemistry. When we got married, he was working in the drug industry. I was working in business. And it became kind of obvious early on, even before I started our family, that I was really fueled by my work and had a lot of drive. And he liked what he did and was good at it, but it didn't fuel him in the way that it fueled me. So the second big choice that we made, frankly, was to embrace our difference in that way and have him. We had decided that he would stay home after our second child, Maggie, was born. So we made that decision when I was pregnant with my second child. And we thought we would try it for a year. Well, as you know, it went pretty well for us. We had two more kids after that, Moore and Fiona, and Terry stayed home from that point forward. So we made a choice to embrace my career and to embrace what he wanted to do as well, which is frankly to retire and be a fantastic father to our kids. I mean, my daughters and my son all have so many things in their lives that are so special and unique because of that arrangement. But that wouldn't be for everybody. And I don't think we even knew at the time. We didn't know it would be like a long-term thing or how it would really feel. And there's still gender paradigms even today about roles of men and women in work and in home life and whatever. But that choice was a really, really important one. It kind of dovetails with realizing that about myself even when I was younger. And frankly, celebrating it. Because once we kind of got comfortable with like, okay, yeah, you're just like super type A and you're just going to want to work forever. And I actually really like being home with the kids. Like once we embrace that, everything worked great.
Completely. And you have this incredible family, incredible.
I'm proud of them.
I love just being in the same room, whether it's you and Maura or Maggie or Fiona or Jack or Terry, or especially when, Aunt Dolores is there, the energy of that and what you've created is palpable.
It's nice of you to say that. I'm proud.
Thank you for joining me for our Choose and Become interview series. You could find this episode and others at trishkendall.com. Just go to trishkendall.com/choose-become-interview-series. Or if you have a question or just want to leave a comment, email me, trish@trishkendall.com.